Pat, the president is placing the spotlight on the drug addiction and the opioid epidemic. He's tapped New Jersey Governor Chris Christie to lead a commission that will look at the biggest drug overdose crisis in U.S. history. Heather Sells has that story.
The nation's opioid addiction is killing tens of thousands of people every year. The CDC estimates that 33,000 died because of an opioid overdose in 2015. It says 91 people in the U.S. die every day from such drugs. That's why the president is stepping up efforts to combat the crisis.
This is a total epidemic, and I think it's probably almost untalked about compared to the severity that we're witnessing.
On Wednesday, the president and commission head Chris Christie met with addiction advocates to hear their personal stories and policy proposals.
We talk about cancer, we talk about heart disease, we talk about diabetes, and we're not afraid to talk about it. But people are afraid and ashamed to talk about drug addiction. And while they don't talk about it, we lose lives.
Opioids are powerful, habit-forming narcotics. They go by names like Percocet and Oxycontin. Often, the addiction starts with prescription painkillers, and then people transition to heroin, which is cheaper. People like 21-year-old Caitlin Weems.
And then unfortunately, later on in her story, someone said, why not try heroin? It's the same thing. And within 4 months, she died of a heroin overdose.
The president said the new group would work with local officials, law enforcement professionals, and addicts to improve treatment options, prevent people from getting hooked in the first place, and stop the flow of drugs across the border. But critics fear the president will not do enough. That's because the GOP health care bill, which recently stalled in Congress, would have ended Medicaid expansion, which provides substance abuse treatment. The president has yet to name his drug czar, someone to head the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy and oversee strategy and spending for the country. Heather Sells, CBN News.